Even in times that are brimming with challenges, the mission of Centerstone has continued to soar. For more than 60 years, Centerstone has been a national leader in community-based behavioral health care. We ourselves are a diverse community of professionals caring for those with mental health, substance use, and addiction issues. In every season of life, Centerstone is here to lift up hope and healing. We are here for you, for your family, and for your community when you need us most. Centerstone, delivering care that changes people's lives.
Hi, I'm Shay Binkley with First Bank Corporate Banking. I'm also a board member for Centerstone of Tennessee. I want to extend an especially warm welcome to those of you joining us today for Centerstone's 6th annual Reclaiming Lives Luncheon. First Bank is proud to be the presenting sponsor for today's event. We truly believe in our communities, in making a difference in the lives of others, and we believe in Centerstone, an organization dedicated to delivering care that changes people's lives every day. Of course, changing lives can sometimes mean having to roll with the changes. That's why we're gathering today virtually instead of in person as COVID-19 precautions remain in place. The pandemic drastically altered Centerstone's primary method for care delivery. Social distancing protocols required nearly all Centerstone staff to begin working from home, with therapists providing services via telehealth rather than in person. Centerstone's ability to pivot quickly ensured continued access to care for existing clients and availability of care to new individuals and families. As you will see today, the hope and healing Centerstone provides are more needed than ever, and the organization is rising to meet those needs. The CDC reports considerably elevated adverse mental health conditions associated with COVID-19, increasing rates of anxiety, depression, substance use, and suicidal ideation. As you will hear today, a happier, healthier future is possible. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Here are a few words from Centerstone clients who received help during the pandemic.
Welcome. I'm Bob Vero, Centerstone's Regional CEO for Tennessee. I want to thank each of you for joining our 2021 virtual Reclaiming Lives Luncheon. Your presence with us this year is more important than ever and truly a gift. We missed being together with you last year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year almost got the best of us as well, except that Dana Oman, Kelly Crockett, and Lucy Duvall would not let that happen. They said we were coming together hell or high water. Actually, if you know any three of these women, you know they really didn't say that. They did say, however, we were going to find a way to be together, to connect with our friends, donors, and community supporters, to share a message of hope and healing. Although we're not physically together this year, we've come together in different places and in different ways. We're gathered together for the same reason, the same purpose, to embrace and support Centerstone in its noble purpose of delivering care that changes people's lives. It has been said that this past year has been a year like no other. In record numbers, Americans are anxious, depressed, worried, sleep deprived, distracted, exercise starved, smartphone addicted, and lonely. The triple aim in healthcare, improving the patient experience, reducing healthcare costs, and improving population health, has been replaced by the triple threat of COVID-19, The invisible, ever-present coronavirus, staggering disruptions in our daily lives, and unprecedented uncertainty for the future. Everyone has experienced some level of stress. No one has been immune. For many, the stress has been prolonged, and consequently, our hearts, our minds, and our bodies are now in a state of duress. It's wearing us thin. It's wearing us down. Like thieves in the night, these days of uncertainty have entered our spirits and are robbing too many of us of hope. There are fewer degrees of separation these days that make my life different than yours and your life different than your neighbor's. Yet despite our heightened awareness, our increased compassion, and our long overdue perspective taking, there are still sadly undeniable forms of inequities that separate us. Healthcare inequity is only one among many. Many of us have experienced COVID-19 either directly or indirectly. Many of us have been ill. Some of us, however, have lost loved ones. We've lost community members, friends, colleagues, and neighbors. The pandemic alone has been disruptive, challenging, and often brutal. It has indeed been a year like no other. In past years, our Reclaiming Lives Luncheons have been very hands-on events. Friends and colleagues greeting one another with handshakes and hugs. We've sat elbow to elbow at festive tables. We have shared both laughter and tears as our special guest speakers, like best-selling authors Glennon Doyle, Cheryl Strayed, and Frank Warren, or Grammy-winning artists like Amy Grant, have shared their personal journeys and unique insights into the importance of mental health and wellness. And maybe this year, more than any before, we share a clearer understanding of what it takes to manage our mental well-being. I am certain that those bright days of gathering together will surely return. We're already seeing many hopeful signs, but today, virtual is our reality. And on that note, as generous supporters of our work here at Centerstone, I want to give you a quick overview of our reality since COVID-19. In March of 2020, nearly our entire staff in Tennessee, more than 1,100 people began working remotely, most from the safety of their own home. In order to ensure uninterrupted care for our clients, this meant launching a secure and effective telehealth delivery system. We immediately began connecting with our clients, some by way of telephone and many by televideo. While telehealth, especially televideo, was something Centerstone intended to expand, we never imagined expanding it so quickly or so broadly. It seemed like an overnight transformation. It became a primary method of service delivery in less than 10 days. Here are some numbers to put things into perspective. In a 10-month period prior to the pandemic, we provided approximately 2,500 services by way of telehealth. In looking back over the last 12 months, beginning with the start of COVID-19, we delivered more than 556,000 behavioral health care services via telehealth in Tennessee alone. Remarkably, every single one of our service lines remained open, and new opportunities to serve our community emerged as well. Last year, we provided more than 783,000 services to more than 55,000 people across Middle Tennessee. That sort of life-changing care only happens with your thoughtful encouragement and generous support. COVID-19 has, without doubt, changed many things about our daily routines, but I'm also inspired by the many things that have remained the same. I can see clearly that the individuals, families, and communities that we are so privileged to serve are still intent on improving their mental health, overcoming addiction, and changing their tomorrows. And there's a warm and palpable commitment among our workplace family. They're committed to helping our clients achieve those goals. I want to thank you for that as well. We are shaped by your commitment and your support. It solidifies my personal desire and our collective commitment as a workplace family to serve those in need. Together with you, Centerstone will continue striving to make a meaningful difference in the world. Overcoming adversity requires staying connected to one another. it also requires a connection to meaning and to purpose. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for staying connected this year. And thank you for being a part of tomorrow. Dana, Kelly, Lucy, our collective and heartfelt thanks. Thank you for getting us together. Thank you for changing so many tomorrows.
Hi, I'm Ben Middleton, Centerstone's Chief Operating Officer in Tennessee. It is truly my honor to lead our staff across Middle Tennessee in delivering care that changes people's lives. Like you, each one of them has a heart to serve others, and the past year highlighted that truth again and again. Together but separate, they rolled with the changes of working from home. They became telehealth experts. They masked up safely, and they lined up for COVID-19 vaccinations in hopes of returning to some level of normalcy. I want to thank them and thank you for staying laser focused on Centerstone's noble purpose as we move forward and continue serving our communities. That begs the questions. What does the future look like? Where do we go from here? I can tell you that Centerstone expects telehealth to become a much larger part of our everyday service offerings, even as our outpatient clinics reopen to full capacity post-pandemic. While some will still prefer or require more traditional in-person services, a significant percentage of Centerstone's clients enjoy receiving care via telehealth. And their health outcomes are on par with the outcomes seen with care delivered in a more traditional, in-person setting. Another key area of growth has been expanding the availability of behavioral health services to our nation's heroes, our veterans, active duty military personnel, and military family members. Centerstone is fortunate to have recently expanded its partnership with Cohen Veterans Network beyond Tennessee into Florida and North Carolina. Did you know that more than 20 veterans die by suicide each day? Centerstone will surely continue its commitment to suicide prevention to the high standards of zero suicide among military and civilian clients alike. A CDC study conducted during COVID-19's rise found the percentage of people who had seriously considered suicide in the 30 days prior to the study was more than double the amount of those who had seriously considered suicide in the 12 months prior. With that in mind, Centerstone invites you to now watch the trailer for the documentary Suicide: The Ripple Effect, a remarkable story about our friend Kevin Hines, who survived his suicide attempt jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. At the end of this presentation, you will have access to watch the entire documentary for a limited time.
I wish I could show people what it's like to live in this brain. It's not like this all the time. But like you see the bullhorns over there, everything is dangerous. Everyone is out to get you. Everything can hurt you. Cars, buildings, and flowers. It's just part of the deal, man. I was saying to myself, why is this happening to me? Why couldn't I be normal? The last thought before I went over was, jump now! You know, I have auditory hallucinations and they were just screaming. They were screaming in my head, you must die! You must die now! Jump now! And I did. I was compelled to die. In 4 seconds I fell 75 miles an hour, 25 stories, and I hit the water.
Nobody thinks about the ones that have to go pick it up. 57 dead bodies had to pick up. People, you were the only one alive.
I heard you coming through the door. You were on the gurney, and you were vocal, and you were basically saying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
22 American military veterans and active duty servicemen and women are dying by suicide every day. Never forget that they were our heroes too.
I was very nearly a statistic, and the facts are that Aboriginal men are 6 times more likely to die by suicide.
For every 1 death by suicide, At the very least, 115 people are directly affected.
When I found out Dwayne, took his life, my first initial reactions were, it was my fault. It shattered people's lives. It wasn't just a thing where it changed them for a week or a month or 6 months. It was a lifetime.
We lost our son, Matthew. He's 20 years old.
I wondered if I did something wrong.
In 2008, my brother passed away by suicide. He was only 19 years of age. If he had have realised what that ripple effect, what had happened, he never would have done it.
How does any parent live with that grief? He will always be the son I lost.
When a family endures a suicide, they need help. And in your case, you survived, and I really went through hell.
When I got the call, and since then, I've blamed myself for 15 years now.
You were the first person and a consistent person to ever say, Kevin, you should talk about this.
You stood up and told your story, and there wasn't a dry eye in the whole place.
Today, I travel the globe spreading a message of hope. Why? Because we know it helps people heal.
I was thinking about killing myself. And because of you, I'm living, but yet because of what you said and everything, I'm able to give back even more.
There are people out there that need to hear from someone who's got the lived experience and who's been in that incredibly dark place.
A groundswell of individuals who say, I'm gonna beat this fight, I'm gonna win this game, maybe not every battle, but I'm gonna win the war. They try to help other people change their lives. We're trying to reach out to as many communities as humanly possible to help any individual battling that epic brain pain choose a life worth living, even when they're in the darkest of hours. I don't believe we can go see a person and save their life unless you're physically moving them out the way of a train. But what we can do is instill a glimmer of hope in their brains, and they can see that maybe there's another way, maybe there's another option, and they choose to do the work, because it takes work. It's an art to be well, to save their own lives. And if they can find a way to have that hope to do that, once you're hopeless, that's all lost. You can get suicidal once hopeless occurs. But if you reverse hopelessness, you help change a person's life so they save their own life, so they change everything about their lives, so they decide to live. You are your brothers and sisters keepers, and if you see someone in terrible emotional, maybe mental pain, please say something. And if one of you is suffering and you're quiet about it, today, tomorrow, the next, ask for help. Tell the truth about your pain, because it is the only way to purge it from your soul. Your life matters to everyone you love, everyone who loves you, everyone who cares about you, and people you haven't even met yet.
Look, Kevin, as I said, one of the greatest things we can do is have that kind of impact on people's lives. It sounds like from what the science shows and what this may accomplish, a lot of lives may be saved.
I hope so. I have now lived 15 years past the day I should have died. And I'm truly grateful for that second chance at life.
Events in our world over the past year have led to an increasing need for behavioral health care, for the treatment of growing anxiety and depression, for help overcoming harmful substance use, and for many, stopping suicidal ideation. Here now is a quick look at a mental health service that grew significantly during lockdown: online zero suicide groups at Centerstone.
What would you like to tell donors who have donated or are considering donating to make the groups possible and to possibly like expand them in the future? Like what would you say is an important piece of information that they need to know?
It's definitely worth it because it's helped so many people and it's going to help so many more.
No, absolutely, Anna. And I think you're right. Like when I think about that question, I think it's important to donate because like I feel like we save lives, you know, through the year, every week, and we provide a lot of support that a lot of people don't have naturally, like, family or friends. And then kind of like Jen and like all of you have so like said, you learn skills. Like not only do you learn skills to deal with the suicidal ideations and urges, but it helps you in your day-to-day life just to live, your life worth living.
I would add to that, thinking back to when we initially got the funding from Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee in December 2018, over the course of 2019, we served 25 individuals in this one group that we had. Our new cycle started in December 2020, and we've already served more than 65 people, and it's 3 months in. And some of that growth is due to people like Simone and Jen and Anna who have been with us and helped us develop this whole lifetime group. So we're so thankful to the donors for making this possible and giving us the materials that we needed and the ability to move to virtual meetings very easily.
Absolutely. Simone or Jen, do you want to add before we log off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to as well.
Okay.
Absolutely. I actually wrote something down, so just forgive me that I need to like read exactly what I wrote. So
Go for it.
For donors, I definitely put that, at the end of the day, I'm a human being and I've lived a decent life, but at the same time, I've made mistakes along the way. But because of the life skills that I chose to use from group, I feel like I've made less mistakes, definitely over the last year, than I have my entire life. I've made better decisions. And at the end of the day, I'm alive. Like I get to be here every single day and live. So when I think of donating, like when I think of like other people donating for something like this, I feel like they shouldn't be hesitant because, one second. I feel like they shouldn't be hesitant because this program is, something that gave me life and I no longer hesitate to want to live. So for me, I just feel like donations will hopefully help more humans like myself feel the way I do every day. So I would really want them to know that the money helps me live. It helps other people want to live and to push forward. So it's a very big impact for me.
Oh my gosh, Simone, awesome. Just powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Oh my goodness.
Jen?
Teared up.
I know.
I was
I agree.
trying really hard because I feel the same way. I mean, as Kayla and Susan and Simone and Anna know, I have lost my fiance and father to my child to suicide in 2019. And so this past year has been really, really hard for me to even stay here, even for my daughter. And for a lot of people, they don't understand what that means. And having people kind of judge my fiance for leaving us behind, and also the judgment that I would get had I told those same people that I had suicidal ideation. So this group has really helped me so much to feel seen and understood and actually make the progress that I have made within this past year to even get to this point where I'm actually fighting to live. You know, that is something like I can never be more grateful for than I am right now. And I just hope and pray that whoever is considering donating or has donated before to donate again or to donate for the first time, because this therapy group, support group, whatever you want to call it, is definitely worth the investment.
Yes. Thank you, Jen. Like, amazing. So, Susan, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add, but just I think you guys, like, your stories are so powerful in so many ways. And I think that you guys will go on to help, like, like not only people outside of Centerstone, but within Centerstone, as well as we have new members who join, and our groups hopefully do continue to expand. So I hope you know that we value you all. Like, we're so proud of you all. So.
I want to say I'm so proud too.
You should be. I'm proud of all of you.
Exactly.
And also, I don't normally give hugs to clients, but I feel like when this group meets in person, there's going to be hugs.
Hi, I'm Dana Oman.
And I'm Kelly Crockett.
Thank you so much for your support. We want to thank our sponsors, First Bank, the Heirs Foundation, the Enchiridion Foundation, LBMC, Oman Gibson Associates, Willis Towers Watson, First Fleet, Debt Distributing, and Christie Cookie. Thank you all for joining us for the Reclaiming Lives Luncheon 2021 and your continued support. As you have heard, behavioral health care is needed now more than ever.
Centerstone serves over 100,000 clients every year. Unfortunately, many people do not have the resources available to get the mental health and addiction treatment they need. We ask that you would consider making a gift today. Please help Centerstone ensure that every person who walks through our doors receives the care that they need when they need it by making a donation to Centerstone. We hope that today will inspire each of us to learn more about Centerstone's work in our community, help us eliminate the stigma around seeking treatment, talk about mental health and addiction treatment with our family members, friends, co-workers, and neighbors.
Because you participated in today's event, you have access to view Kevin Hines' complete documentary, The Ripple Effect. Kevin Hines' story is a story of survival and hope. This film has changed so many lives and is shared for a limited time so that people who are affected by suicide can find hope, healing, and recovery from mental trauma and pain. Please watch with family, friends, and those you hold dear. We hope it will inspire hope and help people change lives. Again, we thank you so much for your support of Centerstone.